and welcome to another video coaching section. In this session, we're going to focus on creating custom fields. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to take a look at creating custom fields with Microsoft Project 2007. Now, basically, you should keep in mind that the sky is the limit, and your creativity will really determine what you can do with Microsoft Project. And when you use custom fields, you'll be able to meet your organization's needs. Most people use Project out of the box, but again, if you think outside of the box and just be innovative, you'll find that there's a lot that you can do. So, how to customize a field? The first thing we're going to do is navigate from the Tools menu, and I'll show you how to do that. Let's take a look at Microsoft Project. So from the Tools menu, you click on Tools and then point to Customize and select Fields. And from this Custom Fields dialog box, you can click on the field Task or the radio button for Resources. You click Tasks if you want the field to be available in the task views that come with Microsoft Project, and you click Resource if you want the custom field to be available in the resource views. So I'm going to leave it as Task for now. Then you can select the type of field that you're going to customize, and these are the various types of fields available. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave it as text for now. And we can also rename the field. You can permanently rename it by clicking on the Rename button. When you click on Rename, this dialog box pops open, and you can call it whatever you want. Oops. Okay, so I'm renaming this to Status. Oops, I'm already using that, so I'll call this Status 2. And now I've renamed that field. Under Custom Attributes, you can choose how you want the data in the field to be entered. And it can be entered as lookup or through a formula. Okay? So if you want the custom field to use a list, then you would choose lookup. And to create a list of different, let's say, cost centers in your organization, or when you click on the lookup button here, a dialog box appears, and you can actually enter each list item and the value in the value column right here, and a description for it. We're going to get into an example of this a little bit later. I just want to show you this dialog box right now so you can see that you can actually create your own lookup list. And if you do use a lookup list, I'm just going to put some data here, just so that you can see something. When you create your lookup list, you can also select that a specific value appears as the default. And how you do that is simply click the checkbox down here, use a value from the table as a default, and because I have AAA selected, I click on Set Default, and now that'll be the default that appears in the drop-down list that we'll be creating. Now I'm going to close out of here, and I want to show you the formula. Now because we were in lookup, it's going to, when you switch over, it's going to tell us that we have data in this column because we started working with the lookup field, and it'll be discarded. But that's okay because we're just walking through this right now. Anyway, if you click on the Formula button, you can create a custom formula. And the formula will basically allow the field to be populated based on the expression that you put in this formula. And we're going to get into more detail about how to build formulas in another session. I just want to give you an overview right now. From this dialog box, you'll be selecting the Microsoft Project fields that you want to build a formula with. When you click on this field button here, it shows you all of the different fields that are in your project schedule, and you can choose to work with them, build a formula to calculate something. And you also have a function button here, and when you click on function, these are the different functions that come with Microsoft Project that you can build your expression with, your formula with. And once you've built your formula, you click on OK, and that formula will be applied to the custom field. And again, we're going to go into more detail about formulas in another lesson a little bit later. I want you to have an understanding of what custom fields are. So the next thing that you can do is under the calculation for tasks and groups and group summary rows right here. This doesn't work for text fields, so let me actually change this to numeric. Okay, so I changed it to numeric, and now this is enabled. Previously, when it was on text, it was not enabled because text fields can't be used for calculation for task and group summary rows. But if you have numeric, or anything but outline and text will work, will allow you to do this. But I just changed it to numeric, and now we can select the calculation for the task and group summary rows option to be either roll up or to use a formula. And what this allows us to do is choose how we want the values in the custom field to roll up. So, how the values are summarized at the task and group summary levels for this custom field. And again, the field, the type outline code and text do not roll up. So if you've selected outline code or text, then this will not be enabled for you. Also, you would use the formula option if you've defined a formula in the field under custom attributes here. Okay, so if you haven't defined a formula, then you would not select this radio button here. Now, under the calculation for assignment rows, if we select none, then if the contents of this custom field are not distributed across assignments, then we would select none. But if we click roll down unless manually entered, what that means is if the contents of the custom field are distributed across assignments, for example, in the task usage view or the resource usage view, then the data is divided among the assignments unless the data is manually entered into an assignment row. So that's what this is for. And in the values to display area, this is where we choose how we want the data in the custom field to be displayed. So if we click data to display the actual data in the field contents in the view where the field appears, or we can select graphical indicators, which is my preference. And if we select graphical indicators, then we can specify the criteria associated with the graphical indicator, usually in a formula, and we're going to walk through this in more detail. But you can set up this so that a graphical image appears. I've already set up stoplight status, as you see back here, and I use these images, and these are graphical images that come with Microsoft Project, and you can select them. So the values can be displayed as data or as graphical indicators. And again, the graphical indicators can be displayed in a field in place of data. One other detail I want to point out is the help button here. And if you click on the help button, Microsoft Project launches its project help. And personally, I think you'll find this very helpful. Use it. It will walk you through, what's on this dialog box and how to use it. Okay, so let's click on the OK button now and close that dialog box. Now, as you can see in this example project schedule, I already have a custom field. I inserted into this schedule, and it's displaying graphical indicators. And we're going to get into detail on how to create something like this, what other options are available. But for now, what I'd like you to do is, let me go back to the PowerPoint presentation. I'd like you to go ahead and take a look at the homework for this section. I want you to go ahead and create a custom field by selecting the Tools menu, like we did, select Customize, and then select Fields. And when you're creating your custom field, I want you to experiment by creating a lookup custom attribute, and then create a second custom field using the formula custom attribute, as I walked you through. Then I want you to click on the Help button in the lower left of the custom field dialog box and read all the details there. I want you to feel comfortable with the help that comes with project, because you'll see that it is definitely very helpful for you. So, you're beginning your journey in creating custom fields. What I want you to do next is read the homework below and notice that I've included some additional text files that you can use in your homework. You can cut and paste the content of these text files and use them in your homework. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And I'll see you in our next section.